All right, welcome back, guys. Sorry about that. The audio issues on the mobile stream. So hopefully it's a little bit better here. Um, for those of you who are just tuning in, though, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And it was an impromptu stream, so again, always have that notification bell hit because going to be jumping on at various times, and you always want to be made aware of when I do come on here and things of that nature. So anyway. So picking up on where I left off before, I was talking about Blake Corum. I think Blake Corum is a major person of interest in fantasy next year. He looks so much more explosive, just big play weapon that Kyren Williams just simply isn't. Now, Kyren Williams is a good player. He's solid. All right. He's been productive in this offense for a number of years. But I feel like the Rams have to start wondering, A, maybe we shouldn't have given him that contract extension, and B, is there an opportunity to trade him? Now, it's a big class of players, impact players, that are going to be coming up on free agency. All right. I think that it's actually pretty flush with Rachaad White, Tyler Algier, Kenneth Walker. So I'm not sure what the trade market would look like. All right. But the conversation should be had. I mean, Blake Corum is just ridiculously productive. And he has that explosive game that can really take this team to another level on the ground, even more so than they already are. Like, that's just how explosive, how good they are. All right. But anyway, a couple of things about the game that I didn't touch on in a previous stream. I think Sean McVay had a rough day. He was chasing points, decided to kick the extra point a couple of times, and he probably, I know it was the third quarter, should have gone for 2. He didn't have a challenge when he needed one on that Cooper Kupp catch where he was clearly short of the goal line. I mean, short of the first down marker. There's no question about it. He was short. But he didn't have a challenge left available to him, which really hurt, because that it would have been 4th and inches. And then Seattle has a really, really tough decision to make there at their own 35-yard lines. You go for it on 4th down. But McVay he had called timeout previously. And then when the opportunity was there for him to challenge, it's against the rules. He couldn't take the timeout back and then challenge. He was out of timeouts. So once he burned the last timeout, wanted to challenge, he can't do that. He didn't have any more left. So that was a rough deal. And the common theme with the Rams all season, the special teams. The special teams killed this team all year long. Missed field goals, muffed punts, awful coverage. You saw it again yesterday with the muffed punt. And you feel for the kid, but twice in one game, loses the second one, huge momentum turner. This was the issue that plagued the Rams all year. Davante Adams, 33 years old. How many more opportunities is he going to get? He's starting to deal with those soft tissue injuries that most receivers over the age of 30 begin to deal with, like Keenan Allen, like Mike Evans. And I started to think, too, about Davante Adams in terms of fantasy for next year. Obviously, he's still ultra productive, 14 touchdowns, monster goal line guy. He is like Mike Evans, right? They're at that same juncture of their career where they're over 30, moving towards mid-30s. The injuries are cropping up, but they still remain big-time weapons around the end zone. Now, usually I always tell you, avoid these receivers, especially 32 and older. But over 30, you got to be more cautious. I'm open on both Adams and Evans as a wide receiver 3. Anything more than a wide receiver 3, you have to be out on, because you just can't depend on them physically. And Adams, in an offense of Puka Nacua, is not going to be the 100-catch ball hog that he used to be with the Packers and with the Raiders. He's just that that's not his part of the offense anymore. That's Puka Nacua's deal. So for Adams, for Evans, because Emeka Buka, Chris Godwin's not going away, I think I'm in on both of these guys as wide receiver 3s only. Okay. Good. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I mean, I don't know what was going on with the phone there. But yes, so next year, Devontae Adams, wide receiver 3. That's as far as I'm going to take it because the touchdown potential. If you could get double-digit touchdowns from your wide receiver 3, then you're in a good spot fantasy-wise. And I think that's what Devontae Adams can still supply for you, just like with Mike Evans in Tampa Bay. Okay? So I think that's a plan going forward. Now, let's get to the other game. I hope Sean Payton got in front of his team after the game and apologized. All right? Because the guy who thinks he's smarter than everybody, now that Bill Belichick is no longer coaching in the NFL, screwed his own team. I said it yesterday during the stream. I'll say it again. Not only did he ludicrously go for it on 4th down with a backup quarterback with snow on the way, he had to know that the bad weather, the wind, the snow was coming, to go for it on 4th and 1. When a very, very makeable field goal, one of the best kickers, and I know he missed a couple, but one of them was blocked, one of the best kickers in the league, to go up 10-0 on the Patriots at home with snow and wind coming, to not take that field goal, and then to compound the matter with a truly ridiculous call to roll out Stidham on 4th down instead of just running it up the middle. I mean, you got to be kidding me with that call. So, listen, there's no, I think Sean Payton is a clown. I always have. I didn't like him when he was here with the Giants. He's full of himself. He thinks he knows more about football than anybody else. Now, granted, the guy knows how to create offense. He's a very, very good offensive coach, but some of his play calling in this game and in other games, other big games, has been called into question. And what he did to Jarrett Stidham put him in a really bad spot. Why are you rolling him out on 4th and 1? Okay, against a strong Patriots defense. Listen, if they go up 10-0 in this game, you're putting more pressure on a young quarterback in New England. Okay? The bad weather's coming, and it was ridiculous in the second half. I mean, you couldn't do anything with that wind and the snow and everything. So I thought, and you had to feel for Stidham. It was an impossible situation to be in. He wasn't playing well. He made some big throws early, but once that snow started to ramp up, it was over. He got no help from the running game. RJ Harvey, 13-37, 2.8 per carry. He gave off, I think RJ Harvey and Woody Marks both got exposed this year as rookies that they just can't be primary running backs. Okay. Harvey has happy feet. He doesn't find the hole quickly enough. I think he's a tremendous receiving back. I think Woody Marks is a tremendous receiving back. And he wasn't used in that way for the Texans, which was asinine because that's what the strength of his game is. RJ Harvey over 50 catches. He was very impressive this year on that side of the offensive attack. But they need J.K. Dobbins back. I believe he was on a 1-year deal. I wouldn't be shocked if they re-sign him. I wouldn't be shocked if they take a stab at a Kenneth Walker or a Tyler Algier. You would think Tyler Algier is going to try to find a job where he could be the guy because I think he would be successful. And we got to pay close attention. We're going to do some free agent previews once the Super Bowl is over. The running back position looks stacked. The tight end position, where does Isaiah Likely go? That's another big one. So I don't think Seattle's going to blow them out. No, I think, listen, this is a Patriots team that hasn't lost on the road. They're 9-0 on the road. The Super Bowl, they're going to be on the road. So they've proven that they have the ability to tune out the noise, to get it done in hostile environment. And now they have to deal with the ultra distraction that is the Super Bowl. Cortland Sutton goes 3 for 17 and a touchdown. I was all in on Cortland Sutton this year, and it was mixed results. Now the Patriots. Drake May took 5 sacks. He didn't turn it over, which was good. But, I mean, he was 10 for 21, 86 yards. He had the rushing touchdown. His 65 yards rushing, that was the big thing. Like that was where he made his biggest impact. And how about this? Ramondre Stevenson gets 25 carries for 71 yards. Trayvon Henderson, 3 for 5. So you Trayvon Henderson truthers out there, be very careful about next season. I've already talked about this. I'm out on both of these guys next year. All right. Ramondre Stevenson is not going anywhere. He's going to remain a focal, not a focal point, but he's going to be a very sizable aspect of this Patriots offense next year. I don't think there's any question about it. Henderson is the more explosive back. He's the better receiver, but Stevenson's decent out of the backfield, and he is certainly going to get the goal line carries. So that situation I'm going to avoid next year. I listen, I'm a Giant fan. I love Cam Scatterboo. Tyrone Tracy played so well at the end of the season. I'm wondering about that situation as well. What's going to happen in Seattle? Does Kenneth Walker go back? Zach Charbonnet suffered a serious injury. Maybe that gives the Seahawks pause to bring him back. Keep that two-headed monster going, which was not something that was really fantasy friendly for Kenneth Walker because he wasn't getting the goal line work. All right. The Pittsburgh Steelers, what's going to happen with Kenneth Gainwell? They're going to bring him back. Yes, Travis Etienne, there's another one. They have the kid there, the speed back. I think Etienne's a really good fit there, though. If I'm Liam Cohn, I want to keep that offense together, other than maybe Brian Thomas, because I think that they got to move on from him. There's just no chemistry between Brian Thomas and Trevor Lawrence. Stephon Diggs goes 5 for 17. It's really a throwout game for the Patriots. Really for the Broncos too, because the weather was just so awful. So we got Seattle. We got the Patriots. I think this is a good Super Bowl. It's an interesting Super Bowl. If I were to pick now who I think is going to win the game, I think I'm going to pick Seattle. I just have this team is firing on all cylinders. Defense playing really well. Sam Darnold's playing very confident. And how about Cooper Kupp catching a touchdown against his old team? He had to have loved that. I just feel like Seattle is playing better, and that's where I'm going. I think Seattle. I think it opened up at 4. I think it's jumped up to 4.5 now. Breece Hall. There's another one. I didn't even mention Breece Hall. He's going to get tagged though. I think they're going to tag him. I really feel like that's what it's going to be. All right, just going through some of the news items of the day. So Philip Rivers is pulled out of the. That was just a weird thing. I don't know how serious they were. Anthony Weaver's interviewing with the Cardinals again today. Mike McDaniel's officially now the offensive coordinator with the Chargers. And listen, that's a very interesting place now fantasy-wise. I talked about Quentin Johnson. I talked about Oronde Gadsden. Ladd McConkey obviously can't do any worse than last year where he was vanishing for, weeks at a time. I think his price is going to be too high for my liking. And McConkey burned me in one league, so I kind of have some fresh wounds there. But I really like Oronde Gadsden next year. I really like Quentin Johnson next year. I think Quentin Johnson is going to be somebody that has some really good value, deeper league value. He's going to be off the radar, and he's going to be the one to watch there. Yeah, the Phillip Rivers thing was strange. I don't know what to make of it. I mean, he's having a midlife crisis. I mean, if the Bills hired him, with his 18 kids, you could have like a minor league football system coming out of the Rivers family there. But it was definitely a weird situation there. I don't really know what to make of it. But anyway, so that's the situation there. Like I said, I'm going to have a lot of stuff over these next couple of weeks. NFL draft, all of that stuff. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And of course, free agency when that gets here. So there's going to be a lot of time to hype up the Super Bowl. I'm already missing fantasy, the daily minutia fantasy. I miss all of it, but it'll be back here before you know it. So anyway, guys, I'm going to drop out for now. Probably have another video posted later on, so look for that. And then whether I go live at some point this week, I'll let you know. So, guys, have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the snow if you have snow on the ground, and we will chat soon. Take care, guys.